We are live. Day 22. I'm going to make it. Oh, here we go with this. Here we go with this computer. Something's wrong with my computer, guys. I keep going to a white screen. I updated Windows, and now all of a sudden I got a problem. I'm not sure what it is. Let me close this door. My wife's watching TV, and I can be loud. Day 22. The day of headaches. All day long to design this one little piece. 6 hours. Probably 20 prototypes. I get close. I print it. And it doesn't come out right. This one little piece. 6 hours, 20 prototypes. But I got it. In business, that's what this business is about, is designing stuff like this. Looks like a square with a hole in it, but in reality, it's not a square with a hole in it. There's more to it than that. This is what it's going to look like when I'm done. It's a product my brother sells. So I designed track stackers yesterday, and they're a hit. I put them in a Facebook group, and people want to buy them. I said they're not for sale. It's still a prototype. So I've had all kinds of problems today. First of all, my brother's coming home from the hospital. Supposedly, he's on his way home. He's not home for long. I think he's home for 10 days, and then he has to head out to Boston for his transplant. I still think it's a Hail Mary because they're having his son donate the bone marrow. So, trying to print something, man, this is the 8th time I'm printing it in my P1S. Keeps falling. I added supports. It fell the other way. I laid it a different way. This is as close as I got. Almost. It was about this far from done. It fell. Everything I've tried, I can't get this piece to print. Supports, no supports, custom supports. I now have a tower in there, building a tower, a stick tower. It's got fingers that stick out and hold it this way so it can't move. Don't ask me. I don't know. All I can do is keep trying. I'm getting good at tinkercad. I'm getting real. I'm not an expert. I'm getting really good for somebody that doesn't know nothing. These files that I get on printables and download, none of them seem to work right. They all have little glitches in them. So I was determined to start fixing the glitches. I've learned a lot about tinkercad and how this stuff works. Enough to be dangerous. I'm not... Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained today, guys. I think if I'm in here in my office, I'm going to open up a live stream with just tinkercad on there. And if you guys have questions about what I'm doing, you can ask. You can pop in and watch me work. This isn't going to happen now. It'll be after I get back. I leave tomorrow to go get my mother. She's going to hang out with my brother for the weekend. Then he has to be in isolation for a week before he goes. All kinds of antibiotics and drugs he's got to take. Basically, it's him and his wife locked in the house for a week till they go to Boston for his transplant. I'm trying to get everything ready to go. It's a bad time of year. Then one of my vendors called and said, "Hey, we no longer take credit cards. You got to do ACH, or we got to charge you 2%." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, no problems. We'll work on that." I told him what was going on. I said, "Can I call you from the road Tuesday and get this resolved?" They close in a half an hour, so I was like, I'll get it taken care of, but you got to give me a little breathing room. Monday, I'll be with my mom all day. So what's going on with the business? Well, I made a couple of decisions. One, I'm not selling track stackers. It could be a hit. That could be an explosive product, guys. Everybody that's seen it said, "I'd buy those. I'm interested." I have people email me and ask me, "Can I get those?" I'm talking to my son-in-law and said to him, I said, "Listen, these things are hot. People like the idea of it. They like the design." I said, "But I'm not going to make it a business. I'll help you make it a business on eBay and Amazon. I'll help you take the pictures. I'll help you build the listings. I'll help you get it going. I'm not doing it because I want it to be a hobby. I want to have it enjoyable. I'm building a big box of track back there. I keep running track. I'm throwing it in the box. I'm going to take it out to the flea market. I'm going to dump it on a table, and we're going to build track all day. I'm going to play with the kids all day. If I sell, I sell. If I don't, I don't. That's what I want. I don't need another business, because as soon as it becomes a business, then I just got to stick it into my systems and processes, and it's no longer fun. I want to keep this fun. I'm working on a brick bridge. I'm looking at wood bridges. I'm looking at pictures of real wood bridges to see how they're built, so that I can start to design a bridge for a wood track trains, like Thomas the Train or something like that, with a wood bridge on it. I like this stuff. I really enjoy it. This is something I wanted to do when I was younger. I didn't have the money for schooling, so I never went and did it. I never followed my passion. It's a lot of fun. And as you get better at it, you get very creative. Like the bridges, instead of putting them on foundations, I'm going to use the track stackers underneath, so that it works. Those pieces, those bridges will work with my track stackers. This way, if my son does get involved in it and I print off a couple bridges, I can hand them off to him and say, "Here's a file. They print fine. This is how much I'd sell them for," and he can put them up on eBay. I told him he's got to man up and come see me if he wants to use my printers for production. If he wants to go into production of that stuff, he's going to have to work here, because his one little mini is not going to keep up with production. So he's going to have to come here and run a couple of days worth of inventory for himself. So that's what I got going on. The chess pieces, I stopped production on them this morning. When I got up this morning, I cleared the beds. I'm taking tomorrow off. Tomorrow's the flea market, where I want to sell the track stackers, where I want to sell the train stuff. And we're going to go check it out. And then I have to go to Dallas. I may do a live from the flea market tomorrow, just to show you around. Then I have to drive up to Dallas 2.5 hours to spend the night to catch a very early flight. I think it's 6 a.m. or something on Sunday. to go to Boston to get a rental car to drive up to the northern coast of Maine to pick up my mother to take her to New Jersey. I hope to have her in New Jersey by Tuesday supper time. She is 80 years old. I'm sure she'll pee a lot more than I will. So it'll be a tough trip in 2 days from Maine to New Jersey. But we'll get it done. Her and I will manage. We'll get some time together. Anybody got any questions? As much as lag drives me crazy sometimes, he had a lot of questions. He had good, solid questions yesterday, which helped me. If I can get these train parts, if I can get these bridge pieces to print, I'll be ready to sell the track stackers when I get back. Childhood games, I did see your comment. He said, boy, you're really good at finding product. Yeah, Lag was in here. He's nosy. He likes to be in everybody's business. And I'm okay with that. Takes all kinds to make the world go round. Frickin' commie is what he is. That's all I really have going on. I don't have a lot going on today. I'm kind of shutting everything down just because I got a week of travel. That doesn't mean I won't be working on my business. I have to check the advertising. I want to do virtual bundles, so I got to start looking at images to create the virtual bundles. How much inventory do I think I'm going to need? Hey, Jake, how are you? How much inventory do I think I'm going to need? Stuff like that. I was talking to my mom today and said, listen, I want to build I said, well, on my way up there, when I got time in the hotel and stuff, I'll be working on designs. I want to do, I thought it'd be really cool to do a train station where it has 2 tracks on the top, so they can use it as a bridge type thing when they're not, when they're playing. But then it opens up and it'll have 2 layers where they can put cars, train cars. It'll be all slotted out for them to be able to put train cars. I thought that'd be cool. I'm going to work on it while I'm on my way up. It'll have a double rail across the top of it. It'll probably be a brick building. I just like toying. I like playing with this stuff. I think I may go to Whatnot with the train stacker stuff and start a Thomas the Train accessory show. Maybe once a month. I'm going to do YouTube videos about the track and the track stackers. If my son-in-law does get started on eBay, I will link my videos to his eBay store. I really want to try and help him get it off the ground. I think it's something that will be profitable. I think it's something he can do. I think it's small enough that it'll work. I can fit 8 of them in a 5x5x6 box. And it weighs just under 13 ounces, so it'll ship first class or ground advantage. I think I have the perfect idea for a product. It's up to him now. He's going to have to get off his ass and get things going. The chess set is on its way. Again, thank you for my first purchase. I really wasn't planning on selling any. It was my one. Actually, I was going to take it and give it to my grandson. If you want to know the truth, since he likes chess, I was going to take it with me, and I'm going to pop in on my grandson one day and let him play, uh, let him use it. So he'll tell me what he thinks of it. He's a good kid. So unless you guys got questions, I guess I'm going to have to get going. I really don't have anything. This is the stuff I've been doing. I know you can't see it. This is a beveled inside bevel. This hole had to be a certain diameter. This bevel had to be a certain angle. It just wasn't lining up for me. It took me a lot of work. It's hard to get people to. Dave Harrington saying, I would say a hard pass on whatnot unless you plan on doing it all the time. It's tough to get people to come back and buy. Well, that's why I said I was only toying with the idea, and I appreciate the input, Dave. I do value your opinion. It really depends if I keep doing the track stuff. I love trains. I love the idea of being able to build bridges and buildings and houses. And I just ordered the stuff to build trains with. I needed some tools. I needed some tap and die sets. I needed some special screws. I needed some axles. I needed some magnets. I'm going to be working on it. I'm not going to lie. I found something I can find a passion about. And Lori seems to be okay with it. I thought I'd like to see her get involved. So far, I don't see where she can really help me. I really don't have anything. Now, when it comes to the flea market, she's going to have to help me. I'm going to need somebody to help me because I'm going to be playing with the kids. I know me. I'm a big kid. I'm going to be playing with the kids. I'm going to offer $1 or $2 or something. Who can build the biggest track and goofy stuff like that. That part of it's a hobby. The chess is really this thing having to pick my mom up through a monkey wrench, and I really wanted to launch for Black Friday. I have enough chess pieces done that I could, but honestly, my family has to come first. I don't need the money, so my family's got to come first with this. The first support is now touching that piece. Let's see if we get to the top of this one. One thing I can tell you I've learned is you have to be a little hard-headed in this. You can't just go, oh, it didn't work and go on to the next thing. If you do that, you're going to find out that very few of these things actually work. These STL files these guys design, unless you're paying them in their membership groups, these things don't work perfect. They got little glitches in them that they didn't fix. How do I know? Because after designing the track stacker, I know that the first time it works doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. I printed it. I printed a bunch of them, made tracks, set it up, showed it to people. Everybody got excited about it. My one buddy said, that's a Shark Tank invention if I've ever seen one. Nobody picked up on it. I'm sitting here playing with it last night like I always do with a new product. I play with it for hours on end. Somewhere's on this desk. Here they are. There's reading glasses. Why? I put them on to see how they are, the hinges. I put them on to see how they work because that's a product I'm selling on Amazon. So I'm playing with the track stacker, and I realized that the piece of track on the top of the stand was off center. Nobody else seen it. What did I do? I went back into the design studio before I went to bed last night, and I had to fix it. So I fixed it, and I was rushing, and it was off the top. I somehow picked it up a little bit, and there was a space between the stacker and the track. And so when it printed, it blew up, and there was string everywhere. So again, after an hour and a half of watching it print, I had to print another one. So this stuff doesn't always work first time. You have to work at, this is where better today than yesterday comes into play with my mentality of, I always try to improve my business a little today over what it was yesterday. If I can do that every day, eventually I become very good at something. I've been selling on Amazon for 18 years. I'm okay at it. Most people say I do okay. There's a few that say I'm a bum and can't do anything. My dad was famous for not thinking I could do anything. He constantly asked me for years when I was going to get a real job. Right before he died, he asked me, could he have a job? Because he found out I was paying my mom to be mom. I was helping my mom out so she could do anything in the world. So, guys, I've been here 20 minutes babbling on about absolutely nothing. And sorry to say it, but most of you fools sat here and listened to me. I try to keep it interesting. I try to keep it real. And I'm going to try and keep it about business. What I would like to know is how many people would like to see me actually work in tinkercad? Is it something people would want to see? I'm sort of listening while listening. Thanks, man. Okay, Laura, I thought there'd be an interest. I'm not going to sit there and talk through it all the time. You'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'll talk about it some. It's not really a show. It's going to kind of be a working hangout where I'm working, and if you want, you can come hang out. If you don't, that's fine too. You may actually learn something. But remember one thing. God loves you. And Lord knows I'm trying. Have a blessed weekend.